Mic check 1 2 1 2. So we've been talking a lot lately about starting retro video game collections, and I know that I've spent a lot of time talking about all the different systems that you can look into, but handheld systems might be a great place to start as well for two reasons. One, the consoles themselves are somewhat cheap, and two, they're very easy to find. Now, a lot of the retro consoles that we talk about, things like the GameCube, the Nintendo 64, those aren't things that you will typically see in the wild. But it's very easy and it's very common to run into like a Nintendo DS Lite, which this is an amazing console. It's funny because it's one of the cheaper consoles that you can get in terms of a DS, but it gives you the ability to play both DS games and it gives you the ability to play Game Boy Advance games. So if you're wanting to find something that's a little bit more versatile, you can pick one of these bad boys up for roughly 30 bucks, 30 to 35 bucks. I actually picked up this Nintendo DS for 18, or DS Lite rather. I picked that one up for 18 bucks because they're just not a really sought after console, which I really don't know why. I mean, this console is pretty awesome. Like, it offers some pretty great sound. Like I said, you have the dual screen factor there. You have great brightness on this. It is a backlit screen, and I mean it's compact, so you can definitely get a lot of bang for your buck out of this, and you can play a bunch of games. Now the good thing about the DS, like I said, of course you can play like Game Boy Advance games. You can enjoy that, but the DS library has some amazing titles, and I'll just share a few with you right now. I tend to prefer the action-based run and gun style beat 'em up type games. And the beautiful thing about the DS is that the library is so vast that you can find at least 4 to 5 games in almost any genre that you like. So I'll go ahead and kick it off with this one right here. I mean, Commando Still Disaster. I've talked about this game a bunch on my channel before. If you love games like Contra and Metal Slug, you have to try this game at least one time, because Commando Still Disaster is like if Contra married Metal Slug and they had a child together, this is what it would produce. Commando Still Disaster. It's an amazing game. I don't know if it's on any other console than the DS. So this is one that I would definitely look into. This is one of the more expensive DS games though. So I got to throw that out there and make everyone aware. This is probably like a $200 game. So if you're on a budget, this is not the best place to start, but you can start with a game like Contra 4. Contra 4 is a pretty cool game. We all know about Contra. Another run and gun shooter. Like I said, I'm into that action, so you can definitely take advantage there. You've got some really good gameplay on this one. It does take advantage and make use of both screens, and I think you can pick up this game for roughly around 35 to 40 bucks. So I would definitely look into a game like Contra. I mentioned Metal Slug before. If you didn't know that there was a Metal Slug 7, well, guess what? There is. And it's on the Nintendo DS. Another great way to experience Metal Slug. I'm a huge fan of the Metal Slug series, and you can jump into this on the DS. I think this game probably runs for around 50 bucks or so. I could be wrong. Let me know down in the comments. I haven't done a price check on Metal Slug 7 in a while, but you can get a ton of action for a really good price here. And like I said, the console itself isn't that expensive, and you can definitely jam out to some pretty cool action games. I really showcase these games on the DS because I think when we think about a system like the DS, we think of like cutesy games like Mario and Kirby, but you can get some top-notch, high-end, action-packed games on the DS without necessarily breaking the bank. But if you're more old school and you want to go Castlevania mode, you've got the entire Castlevania series that you can enjoy on the DS. And the thing is, they haven't released like a compilation for these games yet. I know that they have the Castlevania collection and they have the Castlevania Advance collection. I'm almost sure that they will eventually come out with the Castlevania DS collection on the Switch as well. But until then, you're only going to be able to enjoy these on the DS. So you've got Dawn of Sorrow, a great installment into the Castlevania series. All the elements of Symphony of the Night with some great animation and some great color. Portrait of Ruin, which is, I think this is the fan fave. A lot of people like Portrait of Ruin. Another great Castlevania game on the DS. And then you have the big boy, the big daddy here, Order of Ecclesia. This is the more expensive one. I think at one point Order of Ecclesia was pulling around 150, but it's come down a lot. So you could probably pick this one up for between $70 and $90 these days. But Order of Ecclesia, again, is just another amazing installment into the Castlevania series. So you've got a lot of action, some RPG here, and these are just some of the games, right? These aren't all the games in my collection, but I'm just showcasing for you, rather, the different variety and the different types of games that you can get on the DS. They all don't have to be cutesy Kirby Mario games. You can definitely get some great action-packed games for the DS. And again, the console is not that expensive. Now, if you're interested in spending a little bit more money, you can get the 3DS. Now, again, the 3DS is very easy to find in the wild. As a matter of fact, you can buy a complete in-box Nintendo 3DS, the new 3DS XL at GameStop. They have a bunch of these sitting at the GameStop in my neighborhood. Obviously, I don't have one because I already own one. I don't have like any special edition 3DSs or anything, but I will say that the one I have is super clean. I'd rather take a very clean new Nintendo 3DS than like a Pokemon version or anything like that. I don't need to have all that to enjoy the games that I would be playing on the 3DS. But the 3DS is another great handheld console. Beautiful, bright, and wide screen for you to be able to play some of your favorite games. The good thing about the 3DS is that you can play DS games on it as well. No Game Boy Advance games, but I don't think that's something you're going to want to do on this handheld console. Now, when it comes to the games, definitely a great variety on the 3DS as well that you'll want to check out. You've got Kirby's Planet Robot, and I know I spent a lot of time bashing Kirby and Mario, but I mean, there are some really cool action-packed Kirby games. Like, there are some action-based Kirby games that will give some beat-em-ups a run for their money. And I love Kirby because they're always colorful and bright. The music is great. And this is just another great example of that. This one is like a 2.5D Kirby game. I like this one. I was playing it for a while. I had multiple copies of this. This is my sealed copy. I think I sold my loose cart. I'm keeping this one sealed just for the sake of keeping it sealed. I'm a collector. It's a collector thing, I guess. But the Kirby Planet Robot is a cool one. And then you also have Kirby's Triple Deluxe as well. Another cool like 2.5D installment in the Kirby series. I know that you can play these with the 3D effect from the 3DS, but I typically turn that off. I find that it gives me a little bit more of a headache than anything else. But two really great Kirby games that you can check out on the 3DS if you like Kirby. And then you've got this gem here. If you liked Metroid Dread, then you'll like this version of Metroid Samus Returns. Essentially, this is like Metroid 2, but in that 2.5D style. And if, like I said, if you've played Metroid Dread, then you're really going to appreciate this version of Metroid. Again, this version is a version that you can only play on the 3DS. I don't know if they ported it to the Switch or any other consoles, but this is definitely worth giving a try on the 3DS. And then you have other classics like Shantae and The Pirate's Curse. Now this game at one point was really expensive on the Switch. I think this is still one of the most expensive games on the Switch. I don't know how much this goes for on the 3DS now, but this is one of the better Shantae games because it's a 2D sprite-based game, but I feel like the sprites and the animations on this one are a lot more vibrant. The colors are great, and this just reminds me of more of like your traditional 2D game. So I would definitely check that one out there. You can definitely get some action on the 3DS with the Gunvolt Striker Pack. I actually had Gunvolt on the Switch as well. This is like another version of Mega Man. If you're into Mega Man and you like the whole power-ups and run and gun style, this is definitely one that you will appreciate on the 3DS. Some side-scrolling action there. And then, of course, you know, I gotta have me some of that action. Shinobi on the 3DS, a cool stealth-like ninja game, another side-scrolling hack and slasher that you can enjoy on the 3DS. And I showcase these games instead of showcasing the games that you would normally see whenever someone talks about the 3DS, because I think sometimes folks have like a misconception of the 3DS and the DS, and they think that, you know, these are more kid or childish consoles. These are great handheld consoles that you can use to start a collection, and you've got some really great games on the platform that will give you that same rush that you might find on like a Super Nintendo or a Sega Genesis. So don't sleep on the handhelds. Let me know down in the comments what you think. Did I leave out any action-packed games for these two great handhelds? Let me know. I'm the Y2K Collector. Hopefully you're having a good afternoon. Take it easy.